Hi folks, good news, I've had a haircut, so you know I don't look homeless anymore. And we're going to be talking about my boat today, yeah, I'm just going to fit a new motor to it. We've been having problems with this boat. I actually don't know what type of boat it is. It says V Sport 2660 on it, but I don't know what any of this means. We got this cheap second hand from an old shop that used to exist in Perth. It's no longer there. Basically it was a racing boat and it was in a competition and it caught fire, so we got it cheap. I think you can still see scorch marks down the front. Hard to tell really. Maybe we've cleaned them off over the years, I can't remember. But I've been having problems with it overheating badly. I had the motor and the speed controller were getting so hot you couldn't even touch them. The speed controller would do thermal shutdown and you'd lose control for a few minutes until it cooled, but both of them were far too hot to touch, really scaldingly hot. So we had to do something. The first thing I tried was I tried a different speed controller which could allow for more amps. It seemed that the motor was drawing far too many amps through. It sounds like it's overgeared, but this prop on the back is actually not a particularly aggressive pitch. It's actually quite, in terms of boat, it's actually quite low gearing, so, and it's really difficult to get off because I actually ran this in the sea once and the grub screw is completely seized on, and really there aren't really that many props that would improve that anyway, because it's not, like I say, it's not aggressive, it's not overly sized either. So right, so let's ignore the prop and ignore the gearing in the meantime. So back to the speed controller. Yeah, we got this one which allows for more amps. And it helped, it actually helped. I got more runtime out of it and it didn't get quite as hot, but it still got to the point where it was too hot to touch. The motor again wasn't quite as bad, but still too hot. The motor that was in it is it was known as the Pink Demon. People who used to do touring car racing about 10-15 years ago probably recognise it. It was a 27 turn brushed motor for a racing touring car, high revving and low torque. That could well be part of the problem. Oh. It's a farmer going past or something. What's he up to? Anyway, I've got this HPI Saturn motor. Now these are cheap and nasty. I'm not going to pretend for a moment this is what it says, a high performance motor. Bull crap. It's not really that good. You know, you can't replace the brushes, it's all sealed off, so when it's worn out, it's worn out. That's not really an issue. But they're not particularly good and they're cheap and nasty. They're only a few pounds, but because it's a higher turn, you know, 27 to 35, it will have less RPM but more torque. So it should be slower but have more torque. Should be able to pull the gearing of the boat better without overheating as much. That's the theory. So although it's not quite as good a motor as the one that was in it, it should suit it better. So first thing I have to do is solder it all up. The cables are all, you know, massively long cables to get right down in the front of the boat. Do that, and then you've got these parts here. This is probably the reason it caught fire. You bolt it in using these brackets. We've surrounded it with insulating tape because the brushes on the motor, it won't happen with this motor because it's sealed off, but the brushes were shorting on this metal plate to hold it in, and I think that's what caused the fire, because the fire is certainly up the front. Anyway, I'll give it a shot and I will test it out later on. Okay, so she's all ready to rock. Got the battery in there. Just running it on a nickel metal hydride, 7.2 volt, old school. That's the Probe WP from eTronics, the same one I have in my lunchbox. That speed controller is pretty good. There's the, so we can get in there, that's the HPI motor all in and working. And you can see actually right there are some of the scorch marks from the fire. There was more at the front, I think it's been cleaned off. That I think is where the old speed controller was, and judging by all the thermal problems I imagine the speed controller caught fire. But it's really old school setup, this one. Look, if you look at this ancient high-tech transmitter, it doesn't even have the sort of throttle and steering reverse options on it. So an old 27 megahertz, must be 30 odd years old at least. It's the one that we got with it. I just realised this. So it says Aristocraft. It's the same stickers on the boat, so that's the one we got with it apparently. But you accumulate all sorts of equipment over the years, don't you, if you're into your RC. Anyway, if we fire up the boat, turn that on. Now, I'm glad that the prop is spinning the correct way. I was worried about that because there's no reverse on this, and it's not easy to get that motor back out again. It's really fidgety because you can't take the top off the boat at the front, so you've got to get a screwdriver in here and somehow prop it up, and you can really stubby one or whatever, and it's really awkward. But I can tell straight away that that isn't the same RPM as it was before. That's not as quick as it was before, although it sounds pretty quick still. The motor doesn't spin as quick as the old one, but it's not far off. Of course though, this is completely without any drag on it, any load on it at all. There's no load, so that's completely obsolete. It doesn't matter what it's like. The important point is that this will pull the boat better through the water because of increased torque. In the air it makes no difference whatsoever. So the boat should actually be as quick, if not quicker, despite the slower motor, so that's good. I can't take it out just now because the weather's crap. It's raining, it's really foggy, and it is now 4 o'clock, and this is November, so the light is fading. It won't be light very long, half an hour light maybe before it's completely gone. So yeah, I'll take it out tomorrow if the weather allows. I'll see if I can find someone else. Maybe I'm not seeing my girlfriend for a few days, but maybe I can convince Nicole to be a camera girl or someone. Or I'll just use a tripod, whatever. But anyway, I'm pleased. The boat's working. I've also checked the steering. I don't want to give it too much because the rudder's in that little slot there, but the steering is in the right direction as well. So we're all good. I just need to put the boat away for it. Yeah, try it later on. Cheers.